Hey everyone, hope you are having a great Wednesday. It's already amazing to think we're in the middle of the week already. I realize that today we are the first day onto the second half of the year. So in terms of the number of days, that's what someone said, so I'm just going to say that's the way it is. Hopefully the second half of the year is going to be even better than the first half of the year, with more healing and power and strength and passion and a greater experience of Christ in our lives. I want to read a passage. It's from Galatians chapter 6. I'm going to read verses 1, 2, and 3, and then 7 through 10. And especially the verse I want to key on is verse 9. But I want you to listen to the first verses. This is Paul writing to the church in Galatia in chapter 6. He says, if anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness. Keep watch on yourself, lest you be tempted as well. Bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if anyone, and I love this, for if anyone thinks he is something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. Now jumping to verse 7. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that he will also reap. For the one who sows to his own flesh will from the flesh reap corruption, but the one who sows to the Spirit will from the Spirit reap eternal life. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. So then, as we have opportunity, let us do good to everyone, and especially to those who are of the household of faith. That whole section is about how we act with one another. And, in the first verse, if anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore them in a spirit of gentleness. That is really important. How do we help restore someone? Instead of condemning, how do we restore them with a spirit of gentleness? And then at the same time, to keep watch on ourselves, lest we be tempted as well. It's kind of reminds me of what Jesus said of, if you're going to point out something wrong with someone else, get the log out of your own eye before you get the speck out of someone else's eye. And then as Paul goes on, what I especially love is verse 9, when he says to us, and let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. And that's really important to me, because I don't know how many times I've told Debbie, or I've just felt to myself, I'm just sick and tired of doing this. I'm not going to try anymore. I don't care. And really what we're doing is we're just kind of giving up. And sometimes we just say that even though we don't mean we're giving up, or we're quitting, or we're doing whatever, or we're stopping to do good. It's just a frustration. But Paul's telling us, if we continue to persevere, if we continue to do good, we will reap in due season. It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might be a month from now, it might be 3 years from now. But Paul says, don't give up. And then he concludes with, we have an opportunity to do good. So let us do good to everyone. And he says, especially to the household of faith. Remember, these letters are written to the church. And so as we do good to others out there, can we do good to those who are within the body? Can we look at the body instead of being critical? Can we try to build one another up? It's that phrase I've said over and over again. God never calls us to discourage one another, but he always calls us to encourage one another. So can we do that? Can we build up one another, even if someone is caught in doing something wrong? How can we help correct them? But doing it, as Paul says, with gentleness and grace and kindness and love. How can we do that? Have a great day. God bless you.